Hi BookTube, my name is Sarah and welcome to the Bookish Knitter. Today I am coming to you with a first impressions video. So I talked about this very briefly in my weekly reads video the other day that went up on Sunday. If you guys would be interested in me doing this video, and a lot of you said you were, so here we are. So this is a first impressions video for the new Kindle Paperwhite, the 11th generation, the 2021 release, the one that just came out at the end of October. So this is not necessarily a full spec, video. This is literally, I've had this less than a week. I ordered it last Wednesday. I received it on Thursday. Today is Monday. So I've literally had it, 4 days. This is my 5th day with it. So I just thought I would sit down and kind of share with you guys my first thoughts on it. I am in a way going to kind of compare it using my Kobo Clara for size because I don't have the old Paperwhite. The generation that came before this, I actually ended up giving it to my brother and he loves it because I had upgraded to the Oasis. So I do have an Oasis, but yet I downgraded / upgraded to the Paperwhite, to the new Paperwhite. So I'm going to kind of show the other ones as an in comparison and kind of talk a little bit about whether I think, personally, this is just my personal opinion at the end of the day, you guys. Your mileage may vary, right? Whether I think that which is a better bang for your buck, essentially. Should you get the Oasis or is the new Paperwhite just as good? So I had to have this. I did not need this. Let's be completely real. I did not need another e-reader, believe me. But I have been an e-reader for well over a decade. I've told this story before. My husband and I, when we got married, like on our honeymoon, Kobo had just released their very first e-reader. And we had got them for each other as wedding gifts. Like on our honeymoon, we bought them. So I've been married now. I married in 2010. So there's, for time's sake, that's how long I have owned an e-reader. And I've been an e-reader ever since. I do love ebooks. I absolutely love them. They're portable. They're convenient. No one needs to know what you're reading. That meme that I love so much, Kindle enabling women to read smut since, 1990, whatever year it came out, 2000 and whatever. It always makes me laugh. But, I just love the convenience of an e-reader. Now, yes, could I read all of these things on an app? Absolutely. I know a lot of people who are dedicated e-readers who only use their phone or their iPad or their tablet or what have you. And that's fine because that's great for those people. That's not for me. I now, have come to realize, especially as I get older, I really prefer reading off an e-ink display. It's easier on my eyes, and I just really love it. So when I saw people, you guys, a lot of you were messaging me going, did you see that there's a new Paperwhite coming out? And I'm like, what now? So thanks to my viewers out there who tuned me in on this one. But then, of course, I did check it out on Amazon. It has been sitting in my cart since the end of October when it went on sale, and I finally pulled the trigger last week. Mainly because I got some gift certificates from Amazon, so this was pretty much free. So yeah, this didn't cost me anything, to be completely honest. So that's the one bonus. Now, this is being touted as something that you can also hook to Bluetooth and listen to your Audible books, as well as do text-to-speech, much like you can on the Kindle Fire. I have not gotten into that yet. I haven't looked at that yet. I will give you guys an update as time goes on if I choose to do that. I am not necessarily a text-to-speech reader. I prefer to just read the books. And as for Audible, yes, I do have a lot of books on Audible. However, if I'm listening to an audiobook, a lot of my audiobook listening now comes from the library or from Hoopla. So I'm not utilizing, and I actually, side note, just canceled my Audible subscription because what I've come to realize over the last few months is if I listen to audio, like I said, it's coming from the library or Hoopla. Why am I paying for something that I'm, I've got these credits and I'm just like, so in case you're curious, I had a couple of credits sitting there that I had to use before I could cancel my membership. And I bought the rest of the Outlander series on audio because if you're going to use audio credits for something, you're going to use it for something epic like Outlander. Anyway, sorry, total side note. So essentially, that's what this is kind of being touted as. That's what the new thing is. Now, I also understand that there's a signature edition. I did not get the signature edition, I don't think. I think it's different here in Canada. Bear with. I'm just going to go on Amazon right now to see whether or not I am saying the correct things here. Oh, and side note, I am so mad. I mentioned this in my my video. I bought this on Wednesday. On Friday night, I was on Amazon. My husband was on Amazon, and he's like, oh, he goes, I don't think you want to see this. And he sent it to me. They dropped the price $40, literally less than 48 hours after I bought it. Amazon, I know you're never going to see this video. If anyone is in Amazon's knitting circle, can they have like even a 72-hour price guarantee? If the price drops within 48 or 72 hours or a week of you buying something, like especially something like an electronic device like a Kindle, they should reimburse you the difference. I'm sorry. That really ticked me off. And the joke is that when I hit purchase on it, I messaged Garrett and I said, oh, I've bought it. And then I wrote next, I'm like, guarantee you the price is now going to drop. And look, I called it out. So, whatever. Anyway, back to what I was looking at. So, Kindle. Okay, so there is a signature edition. So I did not buy the signature edition. I think the difference is that the signature edition is a 32 gigabyte and the other one's just an 8. And that's the one that I bought. This one is just the 8 gigabyte. It's not the 32. I don't keep all of my books on this. Like, I download the book. Like, they all sit on your cloud. I download the book when I'm going to read it. I don't have a bunch of stuff sitting on here. So I had absolutely zero need for the 32. Now, I think the other difference is in the States. You guys, if you pay for the signature, please, any of my American friends who have one, correct me if I'm wrong. But if you pay for the signature edition, you don't get ads. Is that a thing? That's not a thing here in Canada. We don't. I have a friend who years ago, when she bought the Paperwhite, talked about spending an extra $20 to not have ads. Is that a thing? Like, I don't understand that. I guess when it goes on the lock screen like this, like on the sleep screen, it would show ads if you didn't pay that $20. But if you pay the $20, then you see the book cover. Am I correct in saying that? Please, again, American friends, correct me if I'm wrong. Canada, we don't have that at all. There are no ads on these, which is brilliant. And of course, I can get my cover displayed on the front. I am actually, and here's the exciting thing, you guys. So, I don't know if this is a new upgrade just to Kindle in general or what have you, but now when I read e-arcs from NetGalley, if there's a cover on them, they will show on the lock screen. This is an e-arc. This doesn't come out till the end of January. And I have a cover on the screen, which is very exciting. So, that's it's a little, okay, so let's get into the actual discussion on what else is different in this one. Sorry, it's going to be a little all over. You guys have seen my videos before. I just talk. The screen is bigger. Okay, so the screen is bigger compared to the old Paperwhite. In comparison, again, I do not have my old Paperwhite. My brother does, is that I have the Kobo Clara, which is, in comparison, it's the same size as the old Paperwhite. So just so you guys can see the screen size difference between the two. Okay, so clearly the Paperwhite has a newer, has a bigger screen, right? So that is nice. It is nice. The other thing I like, and, I do love this device. This is my Kobo Clara. I think it's great. Pretty much the only reason I use it now is I do own books on Kobo, but mostly I use this for library because, again, my friends in the US, you guys can download your library books, like your ebooks, onto your Kobo or onto your Kindle. We can't do that in Canada. We have to use the Kobo. So I essentially purchased this to read ebooks from my library because I do read a lot of ebooks from my library. So that's what this is used for mainly, which is why it's just saying sleeping right now because I'm not reading anything from the library right now. So yeah, so that in comparison is the screen size. The other thing, and I have to say this, please, I'm not knocking Kobo. They were my first e-reader. I think they're fantastic. They're great little devices. They're very reasonably priced. However, this is so much more superior, you guys. I'm sorry. It is so much more superior to the Kobo. I just, for the price point that you're paying, I wish the screen was flush. I know that's a stupid complaint, but can you guys see the dip? So the screen sits in. I wish it was flush. like it is here. It's completely, I love that. I absolutely love that. So I know, again, it's a little thing, but the thing is that you can get dirt and stuff in here, no matter how careful you are with your device. Dirt and stuff can get in here, and that drives me crazy, whereas I prefer the screen flush. So that's comparing it in size. So you guys could see the screen size difference to essentially the old Paperwhite. So here is my Oasis. And this is where the big comparisons are going to come in, you guys. Screen size is different. So to me, it's kind of hard to lay it up with each other. Can you? Just want to see. The screen size is the same between the two. Screen size is the same between the two. This one, see, if you lay them like side by side, you see the screen size is pretty much exactly the same between the two of them. The difference with the features on the outside, if you will, of the Oasis is, of course, the buttons, right? That we can use the buttons to change pages. So essentially, so I'll use this book as the example. So here's my thoughts. At the end of the day, I don't want this video to be ridiculously long. Should you buy this or should you buy this, right? This is, now if you're paying for the signature edition of this one, of the Paperwhite, I think in Canada it's over $200. It's like 210 bucks. This, I think, retails for almost $300. So, you know, it's $100 difference if you're getting the signature edition of this. But it's like, which one would be better for you, essentially, at the end of the day. So this is just, again, my opinion. All right? Do with it as you will. As an avid e-reader, my thoughts, I would go with this. I would absolutely go with this. The features that this has for the much higher price tag are something that don't matter to me. To me. They're cool. They don't matter to me. One feature is, of course, the buttons. As I said, you can change pages using the buttons. That's great. That's fabulous. You can also change pages by doing this. And I've been doing this since I've owned an e-reader. So for me to just swipe does not bother me in the least. The other thing that you can do with this is, because of the buttons on the side, is you can flip your screen. So if I'm like holding it in this hand, I can flip it to opposed to holding it in this hand. You guys see that? I don't know if you can actually see that on there because it's just words. Let me go back to my library. So if I'm holding it in this hand, I can flip it and the whole screen flips. So yes, that is cool. But again, that's a feature you kind of need because of the buttons, right? That's not something that you need if you're just holding this in your hand. This does have the lip on it, right? So it does sit nicely in your hands. But as someone who actually doesn't have a case for these, no, I don't have a case for this. I use book sleeves for these because I find the case makes them heavy. And the whole point of the e-reader is it's a nice, light little device to use. This is slippery. It's like actually like slippery. Like I'm holding it and, you know, it can very easily slide out of your hand, right? Granted, it is waterproof, so if you're reading in the bathtub like I do, it shouldn't get damaged. It shouldn't get damaged. I wouldn't chance it, but that's just me. So yeah, so that's the other thing, okay? So in my opinion, those are the features that this has that the Paperwhite doesn't have. So now back to the Paperwhite. So the button's at the bottom, and wake up. And let me just go back to my library here. So the screen looks the same. It looks exactly the same. You know, I can't flip it. It's not going to do anything, but it doesn't matter because you're meant to just be holding it in your hand. The backing of it is, I don't want to use the term rubber because but I think you guys know what I'm talking about. It's not a slick surface. There's, you know, it's grippy. There's the word I'm looking for. It's grippy. And it sits nicely in your hand. And I just use my thumb to switch pages. Like and I will read off this all day long. Other side note. So in terms of brightness and stuff like that, both devices have the warm light, which I love. I have it set on mine to be automatic when the sun goes down, that the warm light comes on, and it's something you really don't notice, and it goes off when the sun comes up. So I have it set automatically. You can also set it to do it at specific times. So like, for example, if your bedtime is 10 o'clock, you can set the warm light for 10 o'clock if you are a person who goes to bed and reads. And then it turns off at whatever time. So you can set it for that, but you can also do automatic. So it kind of checks your location to figure it out. So, so it's the same on both of them. That is not a difference that I have noticed personally. The other thing that I have noticed big time is the battery life. And that is probably my biggest complaint with this. Because I think it's a more powerful device, I don't know. The battery on this drains quite quickly. I still haven't tested this enough yet, okay? The Paperwhite enough yet. I'll talk about that one in just a second. For example, I can read a book on this, your average 300-page romance novel. It will drain the battery. If I read that full novel over the course of a day or two, I'll start at, oh, here's my other complaint, at 94%. This thing, for some reason, will never charge above 94%. Never. I have yet to see it happen. And it'll go from 94%. I'll read that book over a day or two. And on that second day, I'm down to 40 or 30%. And I have to recharge it pretty much every time I want to read a book, which is a bit of a pain because I know a lot of people, what they love about the Paperwhite was the battery life. Like, the battery life on this thing is ridiculous. So I got this out of the box. Like, I pulled this out of the box and I was at 50% battery. So I plugged it in for like a half an hour or so because I really wanted to play with it. But I'm like, I got to give it a little charge. And I charged it to 85%. Okay? I got it to 85%. I'm like, all right, good enough. I can read off of it for a bit. I have been reading on this since Thursday. So I read on it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and yesterday. I'm at 80%. I've dropped 5% in 4 days. And I've been reading on it. So that's good. Like, that, the battery life is amazing on this device. Absolutely amazing. So at the end of the day, if you are an avid e-reader and you don't need all the bops and whistles and you just want a really great device to read your books on, I'm going to say go with the Paperwhite, you guys, because it has been amazing. I've been so happy with it. You know, am I glad I got this? I liked this, and I still don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to, like, just get rid of it. You know what I mean? I'm going to hold on to it to make sure that I'm really enjoying. But I have just found this, it's not the reading experience I was looking for me personally. At the end of the day, this is just my personal opinion, you guys. If it were me, save the $150 or however much more this one costs and just get this. And if you want to upgrade and get the signature edition, it's still cheaper than the Oasis, right? So again, I don't know what I'm going to do with the Oasis. I'm going to wait for a little bit. I know, like I said, I gave my brother my old Paperwhite. I'm actually going to see if he's interested in this one, and if he wants it, I will give it to him. I might sell it. I might give it to somebody else. I don't know. Steve, if you're watching this, no, I am not sending you this. You probably have one. I know Steve put a call out months ago, like, looking for people's devices that they were no longer using. This is not included in that, Steve. But, like, again, it's what you prefer, right? Are you someone who would prefer to use the buttons? Are you someone who would, you know, prefer for whatever, you know, you want to be able to, but again, you're only switching it if you're using the buttons, right? Like, it's up to you at the end of the day as the reader. But in my opinion, as someone who reads a ton on an e-reader, this is probably the best device you're ever going to buy. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. So, and I'm not just saying this Paperwhite, but the old Paperwhite as well was absolutely fantastic as well. So if you don't want to spend the money on the new one, the older one may go on sale and you can pick that one up. I know people who have had the old one for like a decade, or you know what I mean, who have had an old Paperwhite since they were first released and they're still using them. They're great little workhorse devices. And Amazon did a solid with this one, in my opinion. I love the bigger screen size. I love the cover display, but that's just kind of an upgrade for Amazon in general. And yeah, I'm really, really happy with it at the end of the day. So anyway, guys, that is it for this video. I do hope that you enjoyed it. I know it was all over the place. Let me know your thoughts. I know a lot of you were interested to find out my thoughts on it. I love it. I am very, very happy with it. This has gone up, and it's like, I'm actually probably going to reset it to factory settings, and I've got it in a book sleeve, and it's going to go up there for now while I make a decision on exactly what I'm going to do with it. You know, maybe sell it, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'll just give it to my brother. My husband doesn't want it. He reads off of his phone, which is fine. And yeah, so, and I do enjoy my little Clara for what it's worth. So any questions or comments, please post them below, you guys. And until my next video, take care and happy reading. Bye, everybody.